Alrighty guys, today we're going to be doing lesson 6.3 on logarithmic functions. Sorry I could not be here today. I actually have jury duty this week. Hopefully it's only for today, but it can go all week, so let's hope not, and I'll be back tomorrow. But for now we're going to go over this lesson, and then once we go through it, you guys will have hopefully some time to work on homework until the end of the period, and then we'll pick it back up tomorrow. So logarithmic functions are widely used in measurement scales such as the pH scale, which ranges from 0 to 14. There's other scales that use logarithmic functions as well, but that's just one of them. So our key terms for today are logarithms, which are used to find unknown exponents in exponential models, which is why we've been dealing with exponents lately, and this is all tied into that. We're also going to be using logarithmic functions to define many measurement scales in the sciences, including pH, decibel, which has to do with like sound. So your stereo is a logarithmic scale. You'll see dB on there a lot, and that has to do with the sound. And also Richter scales, which are for earthquakes, seismic. All right, the two forms to learn are the exponential form, which we've seen some of that, as well as the logarithmic form. So our exponential form would be this one over here. So this would be just basically something with variables, and this would be like an example of it over here. And then we have our logarithmic form, which obviously has logs in it, log. Alright, so we notice that this b here is the base, just like this spot here. This guy is the exponent, and that's what our answer is with the log function. So what we're doing is we're trying to get the exponent. Hence why it says it equals this exponent, which is this guy right up here. And then the y right here, these guys match up. Alright, so we're going to practice going from logarithmic to exponential and exponential to logarithmic. So let's start out with number 1 here. And what we want to do is we want to go from exponential to logarithmic form. Now as long as you have the base written first, the first number that comes up is your base. And the same goes over here. This is your base, so you want to say log first. Okay, so if it doesn't have the log first, we want to rearrange that. Over here we have our base first. So we have 5 to the third equals 125, and we know that. That's also one we need to memorize. So what I want to do here is we go 5, and we do this little loopy method thing. So what we have is, first off, we go past the 5. Okay? So what we have is log base 5. The second number we go past when we do this little loopy thing is the 125. So log base 5 of 125, that's how you pronounce it, log base 5 of 125 equals 3. That's the third number that we come across. So the 5 goes first, then the 125, and then the 3. So what this is saying that 5 to what power gives me 125? Well, that's going to be 3. So it helps me find that exponent. 5 to a power gives me 3. And we're going to be using this in an application setting later on. Let's try the second one here. So once again, we can do that loopy method. Why don't we pause the video here so you guys can try it. Alright, now that you guys have had enough time to try it, let's go through it together. So, I start with the 4. Oops. Go around and up to the negative 3. So the first number I pass by is this 4. So it's going to be log base 4 of 1 over 64 equals negative 3. And that would be my answer. We're just switching back and forth between the two. Alright. Any questions? Just kidding, I can't actually answer questions. Alright. Number 3 now. So we have log base 6 of 216 equals 3. And we can do this loopy method as well. So we start with the 6, go to the 3, and then end up at the 216. So, once again, this will be my first number. That's my base. So we have 6 raised to the third power, because that's my next one. That's my exponent. Equals, and where I end up, which is the 216. Now it's in exponential form. Both of these forms are important, so you need to be able to go from one to the other. Alright? Now this next one, I'm going to let you guys try it, but before you pause the video, think about rewriting it as you see up here. Let's put the log first. So basically we just want to reverse it. So we're just going to have log base 2 of 1 over 16 equals negative 4. Now you can do that loop method. If you left it like it is now, it's not really going to work out very well. You kind of have to like go backwards, and we don't want to do that. It'll start to get confusing. So I'm going to rewrite it and always put that log first. For the exponent ones, we always put the base first. Alright, so why don't you guys try it. We'll pause the video. Alright, now that you guys have had enough time to try it, let's go through it. So we're going to do the looping method, start with the 2, come up all the way around. So what we have is 2 raised to the negative 4th equals 1 over 16. Hopefully you guys got that right. So there's my final answer, put in exponential form. Moving on. Alrighty. So we want to use logarithms to solve for x when we have a base 10. Now what's nice about a base 10 is that we can actually plug it into your calculator. Your calculator is set up to have base 10. Alright? So what we're going to first do is we're going to rewrite it in log form. That's what it says right here. So I'm going to do the loopy thing, and I have log base 10 of 85 equals x. Now in your calculator it's just going to look like this. It's going to say log, and it'll have an open parenthesis, and you just type in 85, you hit enter, and you'll get an approximate answer. So I'm going to give you guys a moment to find your log button. Now your log button is located on the left hand side of your calculator. It's right below the x squared, which we're all familiar with. So you have second, alpha, math, x to the negative 1, x squared, and there you see log. So we're going to be using the one that says log, that's log, and then you're going to type in 85, close your parentheses, and hit enter. So why don't you guys try that. Alright, so when we type that in, we should get 1.9294. Usually we'll end up going to like 3 or 4 decimal places with these. So the problem will say, but for now let's just go with 4 decimal places for this one. Alright, so pause the video if any students need time finding that log button over on the left hand side, which is right below the x squared button which we've used before. Once everybody's good, we can move on. Alright, so we're going to do a little practice here. Why don't we do a couple problems, and you guys can just go ahead and get started on your homework. So, first one. Using logarithms to solve for x when the base is 10, we want to round the answer to the nearest thousandths. Alright, so that's like what we just did. These 3 problems over here like we just did. Why don't you guys try number 1 there, and then on the next side we have find the approximate value of each logarithmic expression. That one you can just plug right into your calculator. So let's try numbers 1 and number 4. When we pause the video, I'll let you guys do those, and then we'll go through them. Alright, so for number 1, we're going to put it into logarithmic form first. We're all set because we have that 10 there to start, and that's our base. We want to start with that. So we have log base 10. So in our calculator, it'll basically be log, parentheses, 1 over 109, and that's going to equal x, which is going to be, let's see here, negative 2.0374. Oop, it says nearest thousandths. So we'll go to 3 decimal places. There we go. Negative 2.037. That time it tells us we want to round to the nearest thousandths. That's 3 decimal places. Alright, same thing for this one. You plug it into your calculator. We get log of 89. And we get 1.949. 3 decimal places because it says the nearest thousandths. Alright? So that's it for those. So here's your homework. We'll go over the answers tomorrow. If I'm not here, I'll have the answers up there for you guys to check your homework with, and we'll continue on to 6.3 day 2. You guys will get your quizzes back as soon as I am back as well. So 1 through 27 only. Make sure you guys are doing the one that says less than 6.3. It's up at the top of the page on 960. Feel free to take a picture of it and bring that home so you don't have to bring the whole book home or anything. You guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.